Hey guys, Lee Martin here, and I'm back to give you my Black Friday Fierce 5 college football picks. That's right, this week's edition will be focused exclusively on Friday's slate of games, and I'm hoping for another 4-1 against the spread week, just like the one I had in week 13. But before anything, be sure to give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more premium picks and up-to-date betting info. Alright guys, let's go to a noontime matchup this Friday for our first pick of the week, where we see the annual Texas and Texas Tech rivalry renewed. The Longhorns opened as 5.5-point favorites, but have shot up to as high as 9 at most of the major online sportsbooks. The Red Raiders might be the underdogs, but they will be gunning for their third consecutive win in Austin, having won in 2015 as 1-point road dogs and again in 2017 as 7.5-point underdogs. That was the first time since the rivalry began in 1928 that Texas Tech defeated Texas at home twice in a row. But enough history now. Let's talk about the present, where we see two teams that have underperformed this season, but both with remarkably similar stats. Texas Tech averages 31.1 points per game versus Texas's 33.7, while defensively, the Red Raiders allow 28.6 points per game compared to the Longhorns surrendering 29.4 points per game. The early money is flowing on the Horns, but this one will be closer than most anticipate, because this spread would be more like Texas -4 and not where it currently sits at -9. Grab the points and bet Texas Tech +9 at 5 dimes. Moving on to our second pick on Friday, we see Virginia Tech on the road to meet their rivals from the University of Virginia. VTech has covered the number in their last 6 consecutive games against the Cavaliers and won the last 9 meetings. Talk about domination. This year, the odds makers are dealing the Hokies as 2.5-point favorites. And I can't ignore the fact that the VTech defense has shut out their last 2 opponents and surrendered less than 10 points per game over their last 4. The Cavaliers, on the other hand, have been scoring in bunches lately, but their defense has not been that great over their current 3 games winning streak, allowing nearly 29 points per game. If the old saying is true, that defense wins championships, then Virginia Tech should not only win this game, but cover the small number as well. Lay the 2.5 at Bookmaker and cash with the Hokies. Moving into the SEC for our third pick of the week, we see that Missouri is laying 11.5 points on the road in Arkansas, despite losing their last 5 games and failing to cover the number over their last 6. Obviously, they're playing a pretty bad Arkansas team that has yet to win a conference game and narrowly snapped a 5-time against the spread losing streak last week. We saw them cover the spread as 39.5-point road dogs to LSU in a 56-20 trouncing. I'm not sure how anyone can bet the Tigers as double-digit road favorites against any team, especially when you consider that Missouri has averaged only 9.4 points per game over the course of their last 5 games losing streak. We can be pretty sure Missouri's offense will improve upon that number against a vulnerable Arkansas defense, allowing 38 points per game. But the issue here is that the Tigers' defense isn't anything to write home about either, allowing over 28 points per game on the road. These are 2 bad teams, but one is getting a double-digit head start at home, and if we have to pick our poison, we'll go with the Hogs. Bet Arkansas +11.5 at BetOnline. Alright guys, let's move out of the SEC and into the AAC for our 4th Friday selection. You would think that the line on a game between 2 10-1 conference rivals would be rather small, but that's not the case here, as Memphis is laying 11.5 points over their guests from Cincinnati. The big turn on to the Chalk Eaters is the Memphis passing attack, averaging 292 yards per game. But on the flip side, the Cincinnati defense is allowing just 19.9 points per game. While their secondary is not outstanding, it is decent enough to keep the Tigers from running this one up. I expect Cincinnati to go heavy with their rushing attack that averages almost 200 yards per game, which will chew up the clock and keep Memphis quarterback Brady White off the field. Speaking of White, he's tossed 3 interceptions over his last 2 games, and even 1 pick could be the difference between a cover and a loss for those laying the big number. Let's grab 11.5 points and bet the Bearcats at Bookmaker. Alright guys, let's stay in the AAC for our 5th and final Fierce 5 Black Friday college football selection, as we see UCF welcoming the Bulls of South Florida to Orlando. Guys, it's time to get chalky, because I see UCF rolling over South Florida just as they did last year, when they defeated the Bulls 38-10 as 16.5-point road dogs. This year, the venue has shifted to Spectrum Stadium, home of the Knights, where they are a perfect 5-0 this season and are averaging nearly 50 points per game. Yet, despite scoring all those points, the Knights are just 2-3 against the spread at home. But in this matchup, we see them playing against a South Florida squad that hasn't been on the road in over a month and has averaged barely over 11 points per game over their last 3 contests. In order to cover the number, the Bulls will have to score, and I don't see them keeping pace with this high-octane UCF offense that ranks 8th in the nation in passing and 24th in rushing. Too much offense on one side and not enough on the other spells a blowout on Friday night. Bet UCF -25 at Bovada. Well, that's it for me, and if you want to read my Black Friday college football picks in print, then head on over to the SBR Picks page, where you will see my column along with opinions from all of our other SBR handicappers. For more free college picks, head on over to SBR by clicking the link in the description. Make sure to give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more premium picks and up-to-date betting info. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'm Lee Martin, and may all your wagers be winners.